When the world falls to a zombie pandemic and the heroes abandon Earth for a new world, it'll be up to the anti-heroes of the world to rise up and save the day. All this and more in Dceased Unkillables issue number 2. Let's hop on in together, shall we? Alrighty then, so picking up from where the last issue left off, Gordon, Red Hood, and Batgirl Cassandra Cain are still held up in an orphanage in Blüdhaven. They've been doing everything in their power to protect the kids from the army of undead, or blighted ones, as they drop in conversation this issue. Eventually, over the radio, our three heroes end up hearing a message by Lois Lane telling everyone who can to get to the evacuation ships. At first, they think maybe they should try and brave the outside, but they know they couldn't get all the kids there safely. In the end, Gordon decides maybe it's better to actually not tell the kids about this message, because I mean, really, how can you go on living when you know all your heroes abandoned you for another planet? Now, speaking of children and abandonment, super assassin Lady Shiva actually comes to the orphanage later that night with the aid of Mirror Master to try and collect her daughter Cassandra. Shiva thinks that Vandal Savage's island might actually be humanity's last hope, and as such she wants to bring her daughter with her, and when Cass refuses, she decides, well, I never needed to bring you in conscious anyway. Cassandra digs in her feet, later aided by Red Hood, saying that these people are her family now, and she's more than happy to die shoulder to shoulder with them if that's what it's going to take. Now, it turns out Lady Shiva's failed little field trip actually ends up causing a bunch of animosity back with all the other villains. Vandal says that Mirror Master is their ultimate ace in the hole, and he just can't be taking her all over the place. Deathstroke, a parent himself and understanding where Shiva's coming from, steps up to defend her, saying that the last thing they need is for all these villains to be at each other's throats and trying to kill each other when there's an army of undead out there. Especially not when, and wait for it, turns out Vandal Savage is actually more evil than all the other bad guys he's harboring, and secretly wants to cut up people like the Creeper and Deathstroke to understand why they're invulnerable to the anti-life virus. Of course, no one told Vandal about all the future visions that Rose is having right now, and as such, she's able to rescue her dad before anything truly bad can happen. Well, okay, maybe that's speaking too soon. You see, Ravager not only saw Vandal Savage's sudden but inevitable betrayal, but she also saw the coming of zombified Wonder Woman, who, ever since she contracted the zombie plague, has been traveling all over the world at super flight speeds, eliminating all life she comes across. The bad guys attempt to escape through Mirror Master's mirror dimension, and a bunch of them end up getting lost along the way. This essentially means we now have one giant standoff between the well-meaning anti-heroes and the villains who are out of a home. It's tense going for a bit, but eventually they all come to the realization that there's strength in numbers and that they should probably stick together, why Deathstroke even goes so far as to basically elect Gordon to be their de facto leader. Deathstroke respects the man, and I mean, really, why shouldn't he? He held order in probably the most corrupt, chaotic city in the world, so I mean, really, wrangling a bunch of children and a bunch of supervillains shouldn't be too hard. The villains start pulling their weight right away, too, starting what is basically a supervillain academy for these 42 kids they're taking care of. After all, it's only a matter of time before Wonder Woman or more of the zombies break on through, so it's only a matter of time before these kids have to learn to fight. And why, yes, over time, the villains' hard, icy hearts begin to thaw and soften. Some love even begins to bloom on the battlefield between Red Hood and Ravager. Naturally, they're drawn to each other's hatreds of their dysfunctional father figures. Oh, my dad's like the biggest jerk. No, my dad's like the biggest jerk. Oh my god, you want to make out right now and talk about what jerks our dads are? And for a moment there, you might actually forgive yourself for thinking that this wasn't the end of the world, as all these strange, broken people actually start to thrive in this weird scenario, but naturally it all has to come crashing down eventually. Mirror Master had been bitten during Wonder Woman's attack, which means there's now a zombie who can literally come at you from any angle so long as there's a reflective surface around. Our heroes do everything in their power to hold the line and save as many children as they can. Deadshot distinguishes himself right away by heroically throwing himself into the fray to try and rescue one of the kids that he had taught marksmanship to. Unfortunately for everyone involved, Bane was one of the first bitten, which means he's one of the first to transform, which means he uses all that super strength and bulk to break down the wall that was keeping the legions of undead outside. Now they're inside and everyone is boned. And so that was Dceased Unkillables issue number 2, everybody, and I gotta say, this is another great story from Tom Taylor, a story that feels all the more weighty because we're living through our own pandemic right now. I think what Taylor really understands about the zombie movie genre and why this series has been so fun is that he understands that end-of-the-world stories like this are great because they also get to be show what you're made of stories, where even bad and broken people can actually find room for redemption even if it is only at the very end of their lives. Heck, this issue even manages to infuse quite a bit of humor with all the villains trying to teach the kids, them making fun of the fact they can't hear Bane through his mask, and another kid wanting to pet Cheetah. It's all great stuff. Overall, I would give this one a very deserved 9 out of 10. I cannot wait for the finale of Unkillables, and I can't wait for Dead Planet to start soon. This is becoming one hell of a series for DC.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing me right now, it means you watched to the end of the video, of which I will always be appreciative of. It really helps with retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. If you really like my work, you can check me out on social media. I have links down in the description of the video you're watching right now to all my different socials. I got the Twitter, I got the Instagram, I got the Facebook. I'm very easy to be reached, and if you follow me there, you can be the first to know about when a new video goes live. And with that, I will bid you all adieu. Bye-bye.